and that's good. I thought we'd divide into 2 groups and have one group working on policy draft, another group working on the PowerPoint. Okay, and the PowerPoint is the presentation we want to give to the public, right? So we're going to do information sessions, hopefully at libraries and rec centers and all around. And so we want a really nice looking PowerPoint. And people, it's short, it's clear, concise, easy to get, and we want our main points. So that's one thing. And the other thing is, the policy group is that, you know, we already started a draft of policy suggestion, and this is the document we're going to hand to the policy committee. So that we say this is the history. It's a little bit more detailed. There's a lot more stuff in there. So there's a short, simplified PowerPoint thing we want to create, and we also want to create the policy. So I'm thinking the 2 groups today can have these tasks. In the policy group,
she doesn't want the camera on us. Just put it on me.
Oh, she's going to be shy today.
Yeah, she don't like the camera on me.
okay. So let me just start with the PowerPoint group. Greg created a beginning sort of idea for a PowerPoint, and I thought we could look at that. And
That's on the computer.
we could say, you know, and then I also made a 1-sheet document with the main elements of the old policy, so that people could look at this and say, oh, these are the main points. Do we want a slide for every one of these points, or just, you know, this point and not that point? So I'm hoping that the PowerPoint group will decide which bullets they want to turn into slides. Okay, so that's the task for the PowerPoint group. And the policy group, it's a little bit more sloggy. You can go through the main policy and look at the document that we looked at last time, which is a little bit more detailed, and sort of simplify, edit, and then go through the areas that haven't quite been finished. So that's the work I hope to do today.
Okay.
What groups would you like to be on?
Do we have enough people to break into 2 groups?
I do, I think so.
Think so, huh? Okay.
So,
Well, I was on both of them, so
I know.
whichever one you need me on.
Or if everybody wants to be in one group, you know, we could just do one group today. But it seems to me these are our 2 tasks here. You know, we need to create a nice sort of rich document that we're going to hand to the policy committee and say, here's the history, this is what we want to do, and we want an informational one that's brief and concise for the public. Hi.
Hey, we're filling in here. Good.
So I'll repeat what I just said. Ignore that. That's my Google Drive. I'm suggesting that we break into 2 groups today. There's 2 tasks in front of us. One is we're creating a PowerPoint for information sessions for the public. And in the other group, we're creating a lengthier document. We've actually started with that one on Google Doc, and we spent a little bit of time last time looking at another one. So the PowerPoint group, I'm hoping that you look at, I made a 1-pager with main bullet ideas from the policy, and you could say, I want this one and not that one.
So we're going to use PowerPoint when the person has to have a computer.
Well, you could. I mean, it could just be a discussion saying this is the main one, and here's the wording I want, that kind of thing. Could be this wording or something else. And then the policy group is going to do a little bit more in-depth wordsmithing, that kind of thing. So who would like to be on what group? We'll just see what people want to do today.
With the policy, what all do you want us to do?
With the policy,
Like take what we don't need in there, condense it, and make it more powerful?
the policy actually needs to be fuller. So one is smaller and one is fuller. So we're kind of going in 2 different directions. PowerPoint is simple to the point with visuals, get the main point, and the policy's like, here's the history, here's where we are, what we found out happened after 15 years, here are recommendations. It's not something you would present to the public, but you would present it to the committee. So, you have a preference?
I'm flexible.
PowerPoint? Okay. And we
Okay.
could all be in one if nobody wants to do policy, what?
I say I prefer to do policy, but I'm flexible.
Well, I'll do the policy with him.
All right.
I mean, if you want the PowerPoint, that's fine.
No,
That's,
I don't mind the policy. 'Cause he's got his computer, and then I could hear his ideas. I could be quiet today and hear his ideas, and let him teach me something.
okay.
Well, I think we'll work well together. I think it's collective wisdom is always better than.
Okay. And how about you, John? What would you like to
I guess work on policy.
Oh, the policy group? Okay. Are you going to join the group?
You want to join, or you just gonna listen?
You can,
I'm going to listen. And
Yeah.
You know, their
So the
opinions
three of
are.
you policy and you by yourself, maybe you and I could.
you can work with your daughter. If she
Yeah.
gets a little too loud, you can just shush her up, you know.
Okay.
That's my mom. She came in. She wanted to know what was going on, what was bringing me to these meetings. So I told her to come on in.
Okay. So let me show you what I have here. I'm going to give everyone.
Kathleen, nice to meet you.
I'm going to give everyone a copy of the old policy.
Mhm.
Okay, so you have that for reference. And actually pass these down. 2, 3, okay. And this is Greg's PowerPoint that he put together. I don't know if you saw it online, but. And then here's the one pager with bullets.
John,
I
if we
summarize the policy.
maybe if we all sat.
You want to pull it open so you can be around a table like that?
Which I don't know what the best configuration is. Just should we a little space between the two groups, or
Oh.
like,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
wondering
why
if
don't you
we-
guys go in that corner and we'll be in this.
Sure. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And for the policy group,
Now, hopefully, we can record things, but
oh, okay.
it's going to be hard to record two groups, yeah.
Work on that.
I'll pick the one that I'm in because I'm.
Okay. So that's the old policy.
Yep.
And here's the document we worked on last time. Let me give one to you as well. We had it up, and it was kind of verbal, This is what I would like you to do here is look at the language, simplify it, but don't lose the ideas. And then here's a few sections at the very end, like exceptions, middle class departure, lottery, citywides, information and improvement. These are areas that haven't been written yet. So I'm not asking you to write it, but write bullet points. Like makes the main points. You can refer from
Okay.
get it out of the policy. So you can, in other words, simplify language, don't get rid of, you want all the points in here, but want the language easy, and then add bullets, so later that can be written into narrative form.
When we finish this, could you tell me what these letters mean, or you probably don't even?
Well, I can tell you what those letters mean.
That's a teacher.
So.
Oh, you're a teacher, okay.
And a parent. The district has a 4-day rotation.
So you're doing
So
the
there's gym,
PowerPoint?
PE, either
No,
A and
I'm
C,
policy.
or B and D
They're
days.
their policy.
Oh, their policy. Okay.
So I guess a way to look at this is,
He
if
sent
we're
it to
looking, I
me
guess,
saying
Liz
that
said
he's
if we
not
could
married to this, that he wanted to put it forward.
simplify the language in this document.
I'm looking at that, I'm looking, because I'm
Is that an
remembering,
extra?
I'm remembering these days.
Yeah.
Oh, do you have an extra one of these?
One of these?
No,
You,
the policy.
you got me up until 5 and 6, because I don't know anything about the lottery. That's
Hey.
new to me.
So
So I know the first
Okay.
3. But when you get up to the other things about the lottery, I don't know anything about that. That's something I gotta learn.
Kind of boiled it down to one pager.
So,
Page right.
yeah.
Got down to one page. And so this is kind of.
Okay.
And so I'm not sure the public wants to do all these details. So maybe what we can do is tell areas as to look at history.
Okay. I think this history, number 4, has to be.
And parents nowadays, it's been 15 years, and parents don't know what it used to be.
Number 4, I inherently find
They don't
flawed
know
in this
what
history.
it used to be.
The last sentence.
Yeah.
The spirit, in order to limit transportation costs, families were restricted with a few exceptions to choices within their own zone. That's the I mean, we've we've talked about that several times where that was the intent, but it was
I don't
never
know if we need
followed
to,
through.
like, why?
I mean, do you think that's a fair correction to make in number 4?
Policy guidance.
They don't know this already.
Yeah, that was the policy. That isn't
Yeah.
necessarily what has taken place.
You know, this
The,
basic
Yes.
about when, and maybe even the
Yeah.
principles of, you know,
So I think it's a incorrect history. It is.
Okay.
You could say the policy was designed to restrict families, but it never. I don't think the history is the history is what actually happened, not the intention of what was supposed to
Right.
happen.
It does seem that this group.
Yeah, I think in
broke down
the
saying,
review
well,
of the history, we have to point out
maybe
that
people won't be able to answer
these,
those questions.
this is the intent, but
We
it,
ask them, how do you think it's
things
working?
have fallen
Yeah.
short of
They understand.
following
Some
the
people believe
intent per se.
the basics of
I mean, I guess I would say
so it's also
one of the
because
things
that
that I
is one
find
of the
most
things people don't
Disturbing.
disturbing is that in this policy, as many parents are randomly assigned to a school as participate in the lottery.
Mm-hmm.
I had to, when I get down with the other stuff, let me know what the lottery I've heard about.
Yeah,
it, 'cause
okay.
my children been out of school since 2005, so.
So here's like my big
why learn something old
issue of greatest concern is that we're talking about a policy
on
and we're
hand
writing the
so
history
that
about it.
someone, like, remembers the specific
And I
size
think one of the key details is that
currently do.
So we can go into it if they ask.
let's just approximate. We'll use 50% because that's what it was, plus or minus 5% in the last couple of years from the data.
If they aren't already familiar with it.
For every family that participated in the selection process
You don't want to use that for
and may have
grades.
chosen a neighborhood
Right.
school,
Yeah.
or maybe chose a school that was across
And
town,
then they might just get confused.
there's the same number of families who didn't get their information in
They might, like,
on time for the deadline. And so the placement office just put them
Yeah.
whatever was convenient.
and anyway, I'm not even hearing.
And that is a
all
a
this stuff
fact
is just kind of like
where almost a majority, or
That makes sense. Okay, that's good. 'cause I
half
get
of the
so
kids are being
convinced
placed
that
at the
I
convenience of the
can't
placement
actually,
office.
like, always, I'm still in the process. of-
And then when the school doesn't know that they got 5 families in one school,
So all details-
or with the
I
same
need details
family in
here.
one school.
Yeah, or one street
So you're thinking.
might have 6 kids
2000s
who are assigned to 6 different schools. So you've got 6 buses going down that street.
Not even.
Very
And the
busy.
parents didn't choose, they didn't participate in the selection process. But at the convenience of the, and when I say convenience, I don't mean to say that the placement office is lazy. That's not,
No.
I mean, but the connotation could be.
Mhm.
It's just that statistically, you got to put kids in empty schools, and that's what's been going on.
Do you think that they could, like the schools that they closed down, they could reopen them up? Because I heard that 6th school, they still use that for election.
Well, you know, the problem is that a lot of the schools, once you had this ability to move kids around, then when somebody wants to close a school, well, it's easy. You can just bus the kids to another school. So that's one of the reasons that some of the schools have gotten closed.
The 6, 22, and 36 should still be open. I know,
We'll see. You know, the thing is,
I heard they
to come up
reopened
with
up
a
27.
good policy, and then that will dictate
Right.
what needs to
That
be
might be
done.
interesting because they might say, oh, that.
Sorry, I'm
one
not
didn't
trying to go
work.
off track.
No. That's, I mean, these are all important.
I only said that I heard that 27 got reopened on First Street. Did they reopen 27 school?
We did.
I'm not sure about 27.
Started a parking list, things like that. Either ask towards the end or as like a follow-up survey sort of thing.
Within a zone. Okay. How about this? The intent of this policy
If they would be interested, if the registration center.
was to restrict choices
Oh,
and
okay.
placement within within a zone.
Okay, so let's call that a.
But since participation in the lottery is often near or less than 50%, nearly 50% of students are assigned to
They know
schools
about citywides.
that
They may
based on
But they may not.
Based on what's available.
People aren't within that lottery, then would they not?
including
Citywide.
sending kids
It's supposed to be
across
something
zones
that- It doesn't sound like people necessarily want
to buildings with openings. Is that
Yeah.
okay?
I think that-
By placement office, right?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Is that like I meant?
Yeah.
Okay, so the lottery is the thing that you're. Number 5 is where we really. You could use a little history or explanation. The only people in the district who are guaranteed a school with the old policy, and I'd like this to be written out, is families who live a half mile or closer to any school.
So,
Mm-hmm.
we've got order.
Is that? I mean, that's like to me. That's like a fact that we don't
I think I would keep it.
acknowledge. Like I was privileged because my house is a half mile from 52 school, so I knew my kids would go to 52. If I was across Culver Road but on the same street, I'd have to participate in the lottery.
Well, my daughter, when she was 4 years old, we had to prep her for kindergarten. She was unable to go to 29 school in November. Me and my mother, we had to work on it and talk to Mr. Janey before he had
Yes,
left.
Cliff Janey. Yep.
And what I had to do with my daughter was, because she was going to 29th, they said she missed 2 months of what the district's fault, not my daughter's, because she did not
You
turn
can work
5 until
here
29.
on the,
So I had to go get the
on the
paperwork.
PowerPoint,
I had to,
or
see
you
if she
can
knew
work
her
here
numbers. She had
on
to take a special
the
test.
policy.
She had to know her numbers and everything. And thank God for Sesame
Okay.
Street, Mr. Rogers and Bonnie. She knew her
I see
colors.
your
She
grade.
knew everything. And I didn't think that was right because that wasn't her fault when her birthday came in.
I didn't
Yep.
have a sense you were totally.
Sometimes you might have to cut corners or work.
Together,
That
but
was
Yeah.
Here's what I was thinking about.
Yeah.
So we're just kind of, so they're trying to create something that's got a lot of detail and it's where we came from and what our recommendations are, but that's not what the public wants to do. We want to do something concise and beautiful, it's easily digested. I took the policy and I made a 1-page with bullets.
I'm glad we got a teacher. I
about all
didn't know
the
you were a
details.
teacher.
Yeah.
What grade did you
We
teach?
could
At
turn
East,
each one into a
grade
slide,
9 through
it's
12.
probably
What is
tall,
it?
and
Science.
it's
I'm actually
I
teaching kids how to do
just
precision
going through it and
machine
saying, "That looks like
glass
the
to make lenses for
important
telescopes and
bullet,
stuff like that.
I like that science.
So,
It's the best. Go ahead. Okay.
The lottery applies to all schools, so if you want to go to a school other than your well, even for your neighborhood school, if you're a mile,
If you're 0.6 miles, you have to
if you're
participate.
0.6 mile, you have to participate in the lottery.
so that parents don't have to show up
And
to the main
the
office.
schools where you really are lucky if you get in are the ones that have a lot of people applying for them.
Yes.
So there's
So it
good
makes
chance you'll be able to
have
go to your neighborhood school if you're 0.6 miles away, not guaranteed,
Correct.
assuming that school isn't one of the favorite ones.
Yeah.
And you fill the
But, you
paperwork
know,
out
that
on
could
time.
take
Uh-huh.
place.
Yeah, that's right.
Because if you
Libraries
move in,
instead.
so if you move into a neighborhood
Different ways to
in May
disseminate the
and you move across from that
I don't
building,
think we've
that
done a
school,
good job of disseminating how this whole system
and it's a popular school,
And it could
Or
be
you- or
sort of
not.
like,
they might say, "Oh, I'm sorry,
That's
the
fun,
school
you
is
know,
full. You have to go to a
Saturday
school
time.
She
across town."
she moved to Arnett Boulevard.
Yeah.
And my sister almost had to go to 19th school. She went down
Yeah,
to city
right.
school district
Way
and
up there.
gave it to him when 24th 23 school, the primary school
Yep.
on Linden Avenue was open. My sister had to go there. She was not going. My mother told them she's not going to 19. She made sure of
Yeah.
that. She did not play when we went to school.
Yeah. But part of my concern with this policy that we could just change, make it keep the same change, or keep the same policy is what if we made the date, enroll by July 1st? Suddenly it's like you're buying people an extra 5 months because who
This
thinks
is the biggest idea.
Oh, yeah.
I've got a kindergartner or if you move in May, sorry. This is our policy. You had to have the paper filled out by J.
That's an action item. for
Yeah.
making
Now,
sure
this wording here, as long as we
where I don't even
are covering what? The intent as well as the
you
actual,
live here.
Yes.
how things actually
Or
develop.
actually
So for
explore.
5,000,
All of these.
Because when I went to 16 school, I told Mr. Boutte, I lived at Arnett Boulevard before you crossed the street. So the kids picked at me that I lived in the bad neighborhood. At the time, that part of Arnett was clean. So they called it the ghetto part of Arnett. Because I told them the only thing that separated is that I didn't cross the street. Because I was on the other side, I had...
which street was that?
I was on Arnett Boulevard where Epworth was
Right,
and
so we got
Arnett
to
was. So I was in the middle. So when you cross the street, you're on the 19th
Yeah,
ward.
but
I
across
didn't know
what street?
across
Genesee?
Arnett and Genesee. I didn't know
Genesee,
that.
that's been the divide for a long time.
Genesee,
you know?
where I live on Garrison Avenue, which goes up from where. So I live very close to East, but it goes all the way to the public market.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
cross Cove, so when my kids find out they live on Garrison, they're like, "Hey, that's cool, Mr. Conroy, you live in the hood." And they're like, "Wait a minute, Mr. Conroy, which side of Cove do you live on?"
That's why
I'm like, "Okay, I live on the good side."
That's why I like Garcia and Culver. I love
Yeah.
Culver Road.
Yep.
Any part of Culver Road, I love it.
Yep, me too. So number 5, I agree with, I guess.
Do you want to make that word you made about the families living in a half-mile C?
Yes.
Or is it an extended sentence?
Yep, I called it as like 4A. If a family
Okay.
lives within half a mile.
Okay. All right.
Keep it.
And then, can anybody tell me, where's number 10 school? There's a number 10 school now? Did I tell you?
Isn't it in the Southwest?
Yeah, I heard about it.
Oh, 10, that's the former 37.
Okay, all right, thank you. Because everybody kept telling me about it, and I said, there is no number 10 school.
Yeah, that's,
Okay.
they closed 37 and reopened
Okay,
it as
okay,
10,
10, all
with the
right.
intention of closing it
So
again.
Okay.
take a look at this and see if
Fought them and
there's
they agreed to leave it there.
a way to sort of end it with a
I would, if
question
this is the
or
intent,
something.
that was not how citywide schools. They were not. They don't like 58 does not have special ed classes.
So we don't decide.
Like I know
Otherwise, it's pretty
that's.
straightforward. We're just sort of creating just for each one of these.
I think of the citywides as being 58's expeditionary learning and 12 schools OLAP program.
Well, they've got some schools, like 29 kind of caters to students with physical
Handicap.
disabilities, handicapped, or it's all one floor, so they try to put kids that may be restricted to wheelchairs.
But they're not recruiting students.
No.
This, I would say, the policy
More focus.
created a handful of citywide schools that recruited students to participate in academic programs.
A lot of kids don't like going to that school because when I was little,
Which one?
because 29,
29.
everybody kept calling that the retard school, but they didn't understand. They taught us how to treat people that were different from us, and to let us know, even though you're different. I remember one of the little boys was handicapped and he was Santa Claus. I thought that was so lovely when I was in school. To have the little boy play
Yep.
Santa Claus, I thought that
Yeah.
was nice. I said, well, if he can be Santa Claus, he can be an actor. Because you know that makes kids want to try hard. When
Yep.
they see somebody that's less fortunate, no.
So how about the two types of citywide schools? One type
Special needs.
recruit
And,
students
you know,
for unique.
Unique programs.
Yeah.
your feedback. On purpose.
The 58 school and EL. Expeditionary learning.
They can add to it.
Well,
And
we need a PowerPoint and then we're gonna actually ask for feedback, right?
Yeah.
The hub exists to serve
Back
students with
to
special needs. Is
Mhm.
the I think the language that we
The
use.
language of the day.
Yep.
But are we specifically, like how many of these?
So
programs?
East High School is called East and Upper Lower Schools now?
What's the time period we'll be doing those?
Number 29.
Maybe more of time.
Oh, yeah, okay. Timeline.
Would you say 29 offers
And we can just pick that.
severely handicapped children?
I'd like
No,
to-
it's special
multiple-
needs,
That fall,
special
like
needs
in the
children
next few
with the
months.
ability to learn.
Right, but like is 29 specifically
Yes.
for physically
Well,
handicapped?
Both of them.
Or all?
It's one story, so
Yeah.
it attracts
Okay.
people that have difficulty managing stairs. So
Mm-hmm.
they've got a lot of people that are restricted
And
to
then what was the file
wheelchairs.
stuff?
Yeah.
Okay,
All right.
which one?
Is that like a, so 6, is that a,
You could give a presentation. You could give a presentation.
okay, I actually like this. Citywide schools, special education classes for those with needs and each circumstance like the rest of the community.
Any.
Oh, yeah, no, I think the presenter and
That was
facilitators
what?
need to describe.
Special education. Yeah.
Described as quiet for some point. So it's at least a time.
Yeah, I think that's a simpler statement. And I'm not sure that this is, each zone was to have enough capacity to accommodate the instructional needs of SPED students not enrolled in the citywide schools like that. I'm not sure that that's true. I think,
Well, that was the intent, right?
yes, but I think students are assigned to, that'd be an interesting question for placement. Do
And
they,
then once the policy, the only thing.
if you're a special needs
committees
student
can't
and your
vote-
family
I mean, the
asks for
committees
52,
discuss things and then.
You go to 52?
They agree, they vote on
I
forwarding.
don't know,
to the
does
council.
52
They could-
have the facilities to
I think that-
accommodate their particular needs?
I think state law says you send the kid and then you just determine what the services they need.
Then it goes
Mhm.
to the full board and then it gets.
Well, Edison, when I
That's
went,
why I'm curious to know to what extent, other than
changed,
29.
sent back to
Mhm.
Like to me, the citywides are not special ed magnets.
Yes.
They're special program magnets.
Yeah, I mean,
Keep them in the neighborhood.
right, I mean, it sounds like.
Selection to a city. Well, that's just.
We want them to
I think that
participate in this school.
even 58 really it functions as any other school because across zones you can. The lottery works
Well,
for
more
every school
neighborhood
the same.
schools, that's where we started out,
Mhm.
right? Neighborhood.
Now,
You know what?
58,
Oh,
the thing that draws people to 58 is what, just the overall
They don't actually have to
quality
participate
of
as much in the.
performance
The reputation,
of the school.
yeah.
Reputation.
Yeah.
So for 7,
So I think, that concept come,
This is
Slightly
one of the
different
things
goals than
where
what we
they
started
had a
out.
lot
Our
of
goals now are we want more participation schools, we want.
problems
people to
following
be
through
hopefully
with
selecting their neighborhood.
school zone improvement.
Unless it's like, we want less
If I
transportation.
recall some of the discussions
Far away.
we've had.
So we could say the policy mandated many things that were never put in place.
Yeah, for the classroom. Right, so these are kind of
For example,
Did they ever get the 3 student registration centers?
well, they did. Parent information and student registration centers
It's the money freed up and it's the less transportation.
existed for a time, but they were consolidated to 690 St. Paul Street when under Superintendent Broussard. I may need to. I didn't bring a plug. I thought well now it's all making sense now. But let me save this to my desktop before I lose it. I have 30 minutes left, so
Mhm.
the symbol looks better than I thought it was.
You know, maybe the other one is
I actually bumped this up a little bit, couldn't I?
Yes.
Is that better? Sorry,
Yes,
John.
yes.
I'm sorry.
It's like how do we connect with these different areas? We need some strategies here.
I think that's important.
Others,
Let's say 4 years. years.
Sort of groups around the city, some community inside there too.
Maybe
Southwest County.
Registration occurs
Okay,
at central office.
so if we could present, get on the
I
agenda.
could do I think before they switched it back to central office, it was at some rather
That's 690 St. Paul.
690 St. Paul, which wasn't too.
And they changed the address to Hard Street, but it was the same building. Because 690 was the one that like had all the environmental concerns.
Aha.
So that they changed the address to make it, I think, to bamboozle people into thinking it wasn't the same building.
Oh, they still got Monroe High School, it's just on Richmond. All right. So it's not Marshall no more.
How often do they meet?
Monthly except in July and August.
Despite policy recommendations, or
I didn't know- so
policy
it's like a
intent,
combined meeting.
there has been no
What?
oversight.
Is there a website that I can
Of,
find out about that?
uh,
Yeah. Does it just say NBN 6? Okay. Good to know. NBN
Monitoring
6. What about other
buildings
parts of
or-
the city? So I'm thinking that, is that what the Southwest Council is? That
19 Ward would be part of Southwest County.
Sometimes I wish I could start high school over again, just a little bit.
Sorry, don't we all?
But despite policy intent, there's been no oversight, monitoring of buildings, or making recommendations to improve lower performing schools.
Leaders of the various groups.
Yeah.
And then hopefully
And it's just, it hasn't existed. Like, there's, to my knowledge, that has not
maybe you
been.
already have this with the library, but I feel at a loss. trying
Well,
to
it
figure out
has in that schools recently with the state
city
breathing down
website, I
our
believe.
necks.
But it's not because of the zone.
But it's not
not the
because of
school
the
choice
zone. Yeah, I
policy.
know.
It's not because of the policy.
Yeah, it was supposed to be that if your school wasn't being chosen much, we should work on making you more attractive,
Right.
but
Yes.
that hasn't taken place.
So the city, in each quadrant of the city,
Miss Hallmark, you took a nice picture. She took a very nice
Oh,
picture.
yeah.
I had to look at it again.
each of them has.
Zones first? No, 3 zones. So number 8. Going to zones.
Mhm.
How about that?
Number 8 school?
And each
No, just number 8 here.
Number 8.
Oh.
has an administrator.
3 zones were established.
Because it used to be 4, right?
No,
No.
It was always 3?
Always 3.
Oh, so you just didn't have
Four
those.
quadrants.
So they just
The
didn't.
city
They never.
quadrant.
So they just never do the south, east, and southwest. Or just south together.
Mhm.
But the northeast, northwest.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So each of those service centers, I know the southeast and southwest.
She's hanging
My
in there.
territory. I mean, they have. some other groups.
3 zones were established.
Two and ones do.
But there was, how about there was no consistent,
Okay. But the public doesn't really
evidence is
go
so strong.
there, right?
No consistent,
They do, I mean, not in droves, but they go there for code enforcement things.
how about, but the placement policy
Fines
and placement office did not adhere.
Well, it sounds like everything we need is really on the city website and all the rec centers.
Yeah, but there was also
On the city.
the issue of people moving, you know,
Then
and-
churches, that's.
and getting grandfathered into one school or
Right.
another that was in a different zone, so there's,
Are they
Yeah,
listed
but-
anywhere? Some, like, is there?
Due to
Here's the Southwest Church, it's like South,
complex issues.
yeah, extenuating circumstances, people often ended up
Yeah.
In
I'm
different
just trying to think
zones.
about, like, compare.
The rate at which families moved.
Yeah.
Writing them a note, writing them, hanging it on the door or
Carrier pigeon.
Could not, did not only
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
could not adhere to,
probably if you Google churches in Rochester, lists will come up.
policies intent to keep
But I'm
families at schools within their,
Zone.
yep.
the church, you know.
Oh.
And I think that's an issue. I think if you move, you have to move schools. In Webster, if you move from one address to the other,
Right.
Churches in Rochester. so
they say, we're not gonna bus you.
source on that.
Right.
I mean, if you knew.
Because that's where you live now. And you
Yeah.
have friends across the street.
I mean, because.
You have new friends.
because
Like the friends that you have in
this-
second grade. if you move.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because
Well, I know
this,
mine.
I think you should have new friends.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand the tie to like if you really like a school on the west side of the city.
I never, all my friends, for some reason, we all stuck together.
Yeah.
We went to 29, 16, 12 school, then back to Charlotte and Edison.
Yeah.
So we all saw each other. We had events, we had the recreation centers. So we were never
Split.
separated.
But there comes a point where if you lived on the
started this
southwest
thing,
and then you
naming
move way up
schools
by Charlotte,
Because I've heard a lot.
we can spend a lot of money busing
But
kids.
it's important. to
But if you move
double-check
up by
that.
school number
Do you
42,
want
if you move across the street from school 42
choice is allowed.
and we're asking taxpayers to
There may
choose,
be
are we going to spend,
some resistance
that kid's
to
going to
that,
spend
once you
an
start
hour and a
to
half on a
get
bus
I know about
versus
that.
doing an hour and a half of homework?
Assigned
Which do you
to
want the kid
maybe
doing?
I wouldn't like that.
I want the kid to
We
do
need to have
it.
this
You can't do homework on a bus.
Yes, we did. I went to number 38 school. That's
Everybody
Pat.
be
She knows.
She do homework
You
on the
don't
bus.
do.
I
Not
went-
these kids today.
I went to number 38 school
Yeah.
and number 12 school.
We're not sure.
Sometimes I wouldn't get my homework done, and because of that bus ride,
Yeah.
we would do our homework because we didn't want to get in trouble because we had chores and other
Yeah.
things to do. And when I got home from school, it'd be 5 o'clock because she had to work nights.
Yeah.
Because I went to 38. I hated the day. I'm glad they kept 42, but I wish they wouldn't close 38 school down.
Yeah.
It's apartments now.
Of course,
Yeah.
right. I guess right now,
Well, I think we need to.
the other thing that comes into a lot of
Why we think it's a good idea.
the way things went
That's where
was
the
the
beginning, right?
state
Or-
reimbursement
or is it
formula,
here?
Right.
which dictated
Because I
that
know
a
that I
child
started
had
the
to
task force.
travel more than 1.5 miles in order to be eligible for reimbursement.
Okay, yeah. Ooh, okay, so, yep.
That's one
And
issue.
I'm sure that
Again, I thought, well, let's work on the low hanging
Yes.
fruit. Let's
My
do
gr-
it.
impacted the
Everybody
placement
seems to agree.
office's decisions.
So now we've done all this work.
Um,
private
And it
hospitals.
certainly impacted the decisions of parents
So we need to have
because they were afraid of having their kids walk.
And
Yes.
the ones that live near the railroad tracks. Like anybody that lives near the railroad tracks by where Carvin Street is or Santee, they could go to certain schools. Like some people could go to Jefferson, where like this one girl said she went to Wilson if she didn't live on the west side of COVID. If she lived on the other side where the tracks were, she had to go to Jefferson. I never knew about that train track situation.
Yep.
About the wrong side of the track thing until when they told me. Never knew about that.
So, John, I like that point that you just made. And that's, yeah. Due to state reimbursement statutes, buses are only provided for children who live 1.5 miles or greater from their school.
Have schools as a hub
Many families
in a
place a high priority
those communities.
on
So is the money part
having their children bused
kind of like hang our hat
to
on?
school.
That's when I.
As a result,
So it's like, because let's can we, do they, can we say that?
Many
like, we're
families
gonna be able to take that same money and adjust it?
only choose
Can we
schools
say that?
Well, that would be something
that
I
are
would have
1.5
to
miles or further.
get transportation data
From
about. So
their
they would have,
residents, yeah.
When I think we
I could
talked,
ask about that.
I think we talked about parts of that issue in a previous meeting where we talked about
The consequence of this
is the money saved on
is that many
transporting
families
hundreds of thousands of kids
will not
across the city
choose
daily.
Their neighborhood.
neighborhood
That'd be
schools,
offset
yeah.
by if we get the short distance busing and we're transporting. them
I think the
forward.
number 4, I don't know how it is now, but I thought number 4 was a beautiful school
Yeah.
when my son went there. I don't know if Miss Rector is still the principal, they probably got somebody new. But when my son went to number 4 school, I enjoyed him going there.
City,
So are we finished
as a potential
with number 9?
So this is like a new 9. That's a point that you made that I think is like, that's the point, like, I have my certain points that I say repeatedly, and you're much better at doing it in small doses. But that is exactly right.
So
And it's a
is it-
problem, right?
Yeah.
That's like
say you were born the late 70s?
1977.
Okay, okay, the mid like my brother. That's why you said, yeah, you were a baby when Scare Straight came out.
Yeah.
My brother vaguely remembers it because he's born in 76.
Yep.
He vaguely.
Okay, so,
How would?
yeah, I don't know I don't know the history of just when people really started pushing for the, putting the kids on the bus.
When
but-
John.
Yeah, and that's like it's a self-perpetuating
Yeah.
cycle.
Parent right now.
I disagree with number 9.
Who lives a mile and a half out from school. So they don't.
I think
have
there's
to
as many
stay
middle-class
walking that
families
mile and
that
a
don't
half.
participate on time, and they're like, I want to move out of the city because this
So
is
they
too
choose
complex
to
a
move
system.
across the city,
Like,
4 miles.
the statistics bear out that in the last 20
So the
years,
kid isn't walking,
we've not
so they're on the
created
bus,
pockets
so
of wealth in the city.
Or
We've lost
the parent
of
has to
families.
leave at
They
7
go to
in the
private
morning for their
schools.
job, and they don't have anyone to watch the child.
This statement is correct, this first one, but I don't think it's,
And so
this
they
policy
put them
is not like
across the city
some
because
privilege
the child is in childcare.
that's perpetuating these concentrations of wealth.
If you change that mile, and a
From
half
my
to
point of view,
half a mile,
families in my neighborhood just are like, oh,
then your
I
parent
didn't,
might
I
be
didn't,
okay with the kid walking a half a mile.
you can't promise me my
Or
school because
if
I'm
you
not
have
within a half mile.
Mhm.
So you're telling me I have to participate in this lottery,
And it's
even though my chances may be good. I'm going for the sure
They,
thing.
they don't do wait list anymore, so it's just a lottery. It's no more wait
Right,
list.
yeah. Well, no, then you are put on a wait list if you don't get your school. But I would say
right.
And so now.
some families
You're inside, half mile.
who live beyond
Half mile, you get lost.
You get a bus.
0.5 miles
So then
of
if
their
you're
desired
half a
school.
mile away from your school.
Fire sale,
All right, how does that sound?
Their values or whatever. And then you have.
That's
And
again, it's a little
that's
too like
a
I'm.
social thing that we enjoy.
This policy cannot
But
provide this guarantee.
People, if you didn't have a lot of neighbors going to the same school, then it would have felt more like a burden if it was me, myself, walking. Because we rotated, neighbor would take, 5 kids, and then I would do it the next day. It's like, you get this collaborative thing going on.
No, necessarily do it, but may elect.
Yes, right. Or have, or it may. Like, I think that, I mean, it's a fact that families are choosing private schools. So yeah, May, you're right. It's a little, yeah. But is this, again, this is like, obviously,
The thing-
it's slanted, but I've tried to not be as slanted in my final prose.
The thing that I think is the case with the busing is that even
That's a
half a
good point.
mile,
So some of the next,
Yes.
we didn't really talk about.
even half a
that.
mile
We
is
talked
an
about
issue for a lot of
results in a negative
parents.
way, and we
And
talked about the negatives.
certainly if it's a young child, you've got the choice of putting your first
What
grader
else?
on the bus in front of your house at 8 o'clock or whatever.
Yep.
And leaving for work, or having them
Yeah.
start walking to school and having to cross Thurston or Genesee or
Yeah.
whatever the busy street in between. Jefferson
Yep.
is another one that the main parents worry about.
So so how can we, is that covered in this?
Transportation negatives we're talking about, or?
Or, and initially, John, I did not, when Megan Delahanty is one of the people who've been here earlier, she was like, we have to do busing. I'm like, no, it's better for kids if they walk, it's healthier.
Oh, yeah, I agree, but
But then she convinced me like you, that you know what? You can't, if you're gonna make a policy, you have to provide the busing. So like if I tell you you can only choose a school within 1.5 miles, I have to say, and I'm gonna provide the busing for you.
yeah.
And so I've come around in agreement with that. Is that a history thing, or is that a, like, we should put that in the policy thing? Like, I'm agreeing with you, but does that belong here?
Well, I think that as far as the history goes, the fact that we have this 1.5 mile busing rule from the state has
Kid who's
distorted the intent
got off work,
Yeah.
of
they have
the
an hour commute to their school.
managed choice policy, because
Oh, yeah, sleep less.
Development.
there are many cases where
Sleep less. Good for long trips.
parent
Yeah.
would have a child walk less than 1.5 miles and feel that they're in danger. So,
Make it concrete,
Yeah.
But I don't think we want to say that.
16 school is a fun walk. I remember when I lived on, like I said, I lived on Arnold Boulevard. I went to the school
Say more
dance.
goodies.
And I hurried home before she knew. She knew I was going, but she didn't know I was going to get in her ride.
Yeah.
And I rushed home quick. One of the funniest moments of 76 in my life.
So I want to like underscore that point. And bolding it is not enough.
Like what percentage of the district budget right now is spent on transportation?
As a result of state, okay, I want to blame this. You know, the combination of the state combination of the state
That's a
We
great
don't know
way
for
to.
sure, but a goal is
restriction on,
Lower
on
that.
transportation reimbursement, right? And I'm gonna have to take off right after this. It's my birthday today. I have to actually coach my son's
happy
little league.
birthday.
Mine was on last Monday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
September babies.
Man's choice.
He was born in the double numbers.
Yeah, right.
So was Diana Ross
Haha.
and Freddie Prince.
Like I said, I just want to do it.
Yeah.
And the
We want to.
the managed choice policy is too broad, and
We want to be persuasive.
I can choose a school that's across town, and the failure to adhere to placing students within zones.
Leaving it.
in general, that ties in with down here is splintered neighborhoods.
Exactly.
Splintered neighborhoods.
And also all the traffic, on the buses, there are buses going down.
Many
some places.
families happily send their kids across town, right? Is that a like that's
well,
what,
within the zone, you can easily find something that's 1.5 miles away.
but in some cases they're still
A
sending
million
them.
buses going to
Yeah,
the neighborhoods, all going to
but,
different schools.
I'm not sure what, whether
Is that something that's needed then?
whether it's because I imagine a lot of those outside the zone situations arise from people asking to have their kids' grandfathers into a school.
Oh, okay.
Jam it down. the throat.
so-
We want to definitely tilt it towards being persuasive.
The policy places a high value
Yeah.
on keeping children in their original school.
This is all PowerPoint, this is gonna be longer than like 15
School,
Yeah.
regardless
But, let's see what we
where
can.
they may, regardless of how far from the school the family may move. This creates
A lot of cross-zone busing situations.
cross-zone busing.
Outside zone busing.
I think we can do.
Cross-zone busing could be from outside of
Yeah, right.
southern zone.
Right.
Yeah, so it's not really the number, I was just using that as a general, like, slide per minute, but we could definitely do less. And, we got a good sort of foundation here, we got the bullets we want, order we want, we have some main points we want to do. So,
Is that?
thank you.
I think that's an important
Together.
historical
Mm-hmm.
fact.
Look at it.
I do have to. My wife's gonna
Yeah,
expect me. It's 5:27.
Oh, that's
So I-
about
Did I say?
time that I gotta
Gotta-
scoot to. What time are you heading for?
I'm going to church. I'm going to take the bus. I would.
For the PowerPoint and the order in which we want it to go.
Gotta go. I know what we're gonna put it.
Okay, yeah. So, and
Through
generally,
email. So you
Very
both
good.
have that through email?
okay, thanks.
Mr. Greg, you can
Thank
get
you.
the calendars
Thank you.
downstairs.
Okay, oh, good, I'll have to do that.
Because they had a number 10 school site.
So, long story short, we're probably gonna have our PowerPoint, our draft PowerPoint ready next week.
Oh, great.
So we would love to begin to start taking the
we win.
information sessions out
Good
in
going.
October.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it might be,
I only said that to him because I didn't know that that's what 37 schools, 10 school. Everybody kept telling me about 10 school. I didn't know what 10 school was.
Okay,
So it's the whole
so
37 schools.
we'll meet, we don't have a date set yet.
yes.
And
So it's next week?
We're checking, we're trying to
do
figure
you all
out.
feel like, is there more discussion where you got on your?
Yeah, I think we've
document?
got more work to do.
Got more work to do. Okay, well, next week is the,
20.
22nd, next Thursday.
4:30. Okay. Um, yeah.
22nd is what day?
22nd is.
It's a Thursday.
22nd is the board meeting, the business meeting. So
It'll be
okay.
something
What time till what time are you?
All right, well, let's just do it next week then, and if, I'm just gonna have to end completely at 5:30, because I have another meeting to go
Okay.
to. It'll be,
Next week, next Thursday at 4.
unless we could go any earlier.
Friday the 23rd.
I can go early.
Could you
Okay.
go earlier?
I can go early.
Yes?
Yeah, I can go early.
Let's say 4 o'clock then.
4 o'clock
4
next
o'clock
Thursday.
Next Thursday.
And we'll be contacting everyone for that, or what's the plan?
Yes, I will
'Cause,
send out a note.
That's one of the things that I'm a little, perplexed about sometimes. I don't know who Mia is sending stuff out to. Is it just
She's
the
sending it
group?
to everybody.
To everybody?
Yeah, she
Okay,
is.
good.
And, what's today? Today's the 15th. Okay, so next week is the 22nd? Okay, 22nd at 4 o'clock. I'll ask her to send it out to everybody.
Okay.
Okay, and in the meantime, we'll look at this that you emailed, Paul emailed.
We
Okay.
end up having more meetings after that, 4 o'clock better.